Pregnancy is hard enough without the extra aches and pains of something like pubic symphysis dysfunction. My name's Dr. Nicole. I'm a physical therapist and a mama, and today I not only want to talk about the reasons why we get pain in our pubic symphysis, but also help you determine if this is what you are experiencing and ways that we can make this pain go away and feel a lot better. So the pubic bone is where our pelvis meets in the front. If you're at your belly button and you go down 6-8 inches, depending on how tall your torso is and depending how pregnant you are going to feel a hard bone in your pubic region. This is your pubic symphysis, and the reason it's called symphysis is because it's where two bones come together and there's a little piece of cartilage in the middle, and as we get pregnant we release hormones that actually make our pelvis spread apart, which is really important for birth and labor and delivery, but sometimes we start to get too much stretch there, or muscles are pulling it apart too far, too fast, or for whatever reason we start to experience a lot of pain in that area. You can identify if you have pubic symphysis pain if you stand on one leg, and that causes a lot of pain. Rolling over in bed causes quite a bit of pain. When you climb the stairs or you do a lot of walking, you have a lot of pain. And finally, if you just touch that area and it's really like zings and it's really painful, these are good indicators that you probably have some pubic symphysis dysfunction. So no one wants to have pain like this throughout their entire pregnancy. So here's a few things that you can do to decrease that pain in your pubic symphysis region. Because standing on one leg can be painful, if you sit down to get dressed and avoid standing on one leg at a time, this can make your pain a lot more tolerable. You can also walk up the stairs sideways, so instead of taking big steps forward, you turn yourself sideways. If there were a rail there, like it would be sideways facing the rail, and then you sidestep up the stairs. This seems to be a lot more comfortable for women. You can also take shorter strides when you're walking. Some of us are really mall walking type of women, and we don't want to take big steps because this is going to stretch that area where our pubic bones come together in the front, and so taking smaller steps can help quite a bit. You can also do things like wear a belt that is meant to go around those hip bones and the pubic bone in the front, and it just compresses everything together a little bit. When we wear belts like this, we don't want to wear them 24/7, but let's say you're a nurse and you need to get through a 12-hour shift. Sometimes wearing a belt like this while you're working can be really helpful. The other thing that's really important to do is to strengthen the muscles that bring that pubic joint together. So the muscles that we want to focus on are our pelvic floor muscles, so working on your pelvic floor contractions or your Kegels. The other thing is strengthening your core up, so working on your deep core muscles, and there's lots of different ways that you can strengthen those muscles, but that's something that you want to do, as well as your hip adductors. So an example of how you would, that's just your inner thigh muscles, and an example of how you would strengthen that is if you were laying on your back and you had your knees bent, you could go ahead and place your fist or a ball or a pillow between your knees, and you would squeeze together for about 30 seconds. That is strengthening your hip adductors, and oftentimes women find quite a bit of relief when they do this exercise, holding for 30 seconds a couple times a day on a very regular basis. You could also do this sitting up in a chair or whatever position that you're in, but the main idea is that you're bringing your knees together and squeezing and holding for 30 seconds. Another way that you could make yourself more comfortable throughout the day is by sleeping with a pillow between your knees. When you sleep on your side, which is what we are recommended to do during pregnancy, if your knees come together and your hips are open, it can cause more pain in that pubic region. So if you sleep with a pillow between your knees, it makes your pelvis nice and symmetrical. And then when you go to roll over in bed, keeping that pillow squeezed between your knees, again, using your hip adductors and rolling, could also make bed mobility and rolling around in bed a lot more comfortable. Something else that you can do is keeping your legs together, for instance, when you get in and out of bed. So swing both feet out at the same time, if you have the core strength to do that, or swing both legs in at the same time. The same goes for getting in and out of the car. Instead of stepping one leg in and then the other, where we're gonna experience a lot of asymmetry or unevenness in our pelvis, swinging them both in together and both out together can help keep us a lot more comfortable. Today in the Mom Share All, if you have ever experienced pubic symphysis pain and you did something that worked, whether it was something I mentioned in this video or something else, please comment below, because I'm sure there's a lot of other moms out there that would love to find relief during their pregnancy when they are experiencing this terrible pain. By watching this video today, I can tell that you care a lot about yourself and taking care of yourself during pregnancy, but I wonder if you've considered how you will take care of yourself in recovery during the postpartum recovery phase. If you haven't even thought about that, don't worry. A lot of moms don't. But I would encourage you to go in the description below and click on the link to my free handout that is going to be things that you can do in those first 6 weeks after you have your baby to gently start strengthening and recovering in your pelvic floor, your core muscles, and just breathing to get healing started. It's a totally free handout. It's just suggestions, and I think you'll find it really helpful if you want to make the most out of your postpartum recovery. As always, give me a big thumbs up if you liked this video to show some support and love for me so that I know that I can keep making more videos like this. And subscribe to my channel if you're interested in all things mommy related. I want you to thrive during your pregnancy and postpartum recovery, so I put out free videos every single week with things that I think you will find really helpful as a mom. So glad you could join me today, and we will see you all next week.